What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Maha Report, where we review the latest Man United news. Big win last night in the FA Cup. Scott McTominay coming through with an extra time winner, so he's taking us into the next round. And obviously, I think that's a big result for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because I really do believe he needs to win a trophy this season and stay in the top four to keep his job. Anything less than that would be not acceptable, and he needs to be within 10 points of whoever, it's likely to be City that are champions. Speaking of City, something I've always been interested in is that, or it's something that most United fans probably won't admit, is that we are envious of them. As much progress as we have made under Ole, ultimately we're just happy that our results have improved. We're being saved and entertained by world-class players every week, and no matter the improved results, ultimately everyone is still uncomfortable and not confident about challenging for titles, and we don't really look at our team the way we look at the City team or the Liverpool team from last year. Likewise, overall football quality, it's not anything to be excited about, and you definitely wouldn't be confident or arrogant about it. And if we were honest and we admitted to ourselves, we wish we had the same feelings for our team as City fans had for theirs, or the Liverpool fans for the last 4 or 5 years. And we wish it was a lot more exciting, confident, arrogant, going into games knowing what we should be doing. But we seem to still be miles apart, even if we are winning right now and we're on a better record we were than the last 2 years. And the reason I bring this up is that once again we're being linked with defenders, all over the world, that our defenders are terrible, that we need to improve that department across the board. And it's a bit frustrating because at what point do we say that? Is it the defenders? Is it all on them? Is there a point to be made that the way we play our football affects our defense? And this is just for me. It's interesting because the information I'm going to point out is based on the offensive side, but I think what is more intriguing is how it affects our defense. And I've used City because, let's be honest, they've been exciting, they've been scary, they've been a great team for the last 3 to 5 years. And everything I would wish our team was, including the football that they play. And, and I get it that it might not be the Man United way, but as much as we mock possession football, I'm going to make a case for it and how that benefits our defence. Now, when you look at overall stats, the main ones you look at, possession and passing success, you can see that clearly our City are way ahead of most teams, with 61% overall possession compared to us with 54%. So they have more control of the ball, which is quite obvious, but it's to officially see that as a stat, just to make things clear, it's not just we think they have the ball control. They do have most of the control, and it's not an illusion where we're just seeing them, where they get mocked for the tiki-taka football. There is a clear statistical proof that they do possess the ball more, and they're more accurate with their passing, 88% compared to 84%. So there's better link-up play, better connection between their players than ours. It might seem small margins to point out, but it is a big difference, and every margin at this point helps. And Liverpool are the same. They've got a higher 59% possession and 85% passing success. So they're very good. The one interesting thing I found was that short passes per game, we have drastically improved under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It is 89% of our play compared to City's 91% and Liverpool's 88%. Prior to that, we know what Mourinho was under, and I'm not even going to go into those numbers. Something that we do get falsely accused of, I think, is the number of long balls, and then we get the stigma that we're some long ball merchants. That is not the case. We pretty much average the same number of long balls as City and Liverpool, with, well, City of 47 per game, Man United 48, and Liverpool 57. Now, we know that's in Liverpool's case, that's more to do with they try to get the balls from their centre backs straight down to Salah or Mane into free space. They've struggled a bit with Van Dijk, who being out. He's played a big part of that, but they're still trying. It hasn't been as successful as past seasons because they do miss Van Dijk, but that is a bigger part of their game than it is ours, long balls. And you can see that in the crosses per game as well, because they've got more crosses per game. Liverpool 23. We know what they do. The fullbacks playing as wing backs, really. Robertson and Alexander Arnold fly down the wings with the likes of the Henderson and Ronaldo protecting the space they leave, and they go forward and they push on, and they get as many crosses into the box as they can, and for the strikers to get in and score off. So the long balls and the crosses per game, not surprisingly, Liverpool are ahead on those stats, but I wasn't surprised. I think we get falsely accused of that, and I think we have got more technical play and skill than people give us credit for, and not Ole for. So you have to respect that from Ole, because the numbers with Mourinho was terrible. Now this is an interesting stat I found. Action in our own third. So what percentage of play happens in our own third? And this is a stat that concerns me, that we have more action in our own third than those top two teams, with 26%. So either we're keeping the ball in our area too long, or that transition between defence and midfield is not good enough, because City and Liverpool are down to 20%, and obviously if we've got the ball in our own third more often than not, then we're going to invite trouble, we're going to invite problems, and we need to get that ball moving forward quicker and obviously more accurately. When you look at other stats in terms of on the offensive side, goals from open play, we're very similar to City and Liverpool, with 30 goals to City, 32 goals, and over 60% of our goals are from open players, similar to City. And I think that is a good sign. I thought we were kind of, initially I thought, we too reliant on penalties, and again, that seems to be a bit of a myth. That's not true. So we do have a good amount of goals that come from our own play, and not overly reliant on referees and whatever myth that comes with. The one thing we got shots in this 18-yard box, and they're outside the box. We're pretty much even with Liverpool and City on that front. 57% and 39%. 57% in the 18-yard box, 39% in the outside the box. But the interesting one that for me is inside the 6-yard box, and this is where our style of play has a problem. And excuse me, we only have 4% of our shots from inside the 6-yard box, and City have double that and more, in 9%, and that is clearly attributed to their style of play. The way they keep the ball, pass it around in the tiki-taka football, if you want to call it that, and they really try and get the ball all the way into the 6-yard box to make it easy for their forwards or even oncoming midfielders to score the goals. And I think what that gives us is that they have clearer opportunities, and that it can be attributed to their possession football. And that is something that we should look at improving, because if we have to rely for the majority of our goals from the 18-yard box and outside and back, then it's going to be difficult to score goals. And to be fair, we have been keeping up on the goal scoring front, though I believe that result against Southampton probably boosted our stats a bit more than the truth. Now this is where for me, the proof of our style of play and why it's important, and where we're behind City and even Liverpool to an extent. And this is where I have a criticism of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his philosophy and football style and what we're implementing, and it's the effect that has on our defence. And we, again, every summer, we go after our defenders, we go after our defence because they're not good enough, they're not talented enough or skilled enough to cope, because we seem to be conceding silly goals and we're not confident in them. And I've always said that we don't have a system that supports our defence like other teams. They deserve better support, not just from a defensive midfielder, but even in the way we play our football. Because if we keep control of the football, that means our defence is under less attack and under less duress. And I think the most scary stat for me was the fact that we allow shots allowed per game for us is 11.3 on average, and Man City allow half as many, at 6.5. That's a big difference. So we allow twice as many shots per game as Man City and Liverpool, and we have to ask, why is that? Is that because we don't have the ball as often or as much as we should? We're not controlling the game as much as we should. And this allows our opposition more time to attack and more opportunities and shots on goal. And the more damning stat for this is the goals allowed from this. And this 50% of the goals we've conceded comes from the shots allowed per game, where we're twice as many as City. We've conceded 15 goals this season from that play. Man City have only conceded 5. So we're allowing twice as many shots on goal as Man City, and we're conceding 3 times as many goals. So you have to wonder, and I learned this a long time ago with when I did Taekwondo. The first thing they taught me was the best form of defense is attack. And you gotta admit, when I first heard that, I thought, that's crazy. You're just gonna go all out and not protect yourself, cover yourself. And this is a version of that. The best form of defense seems to be possession, and the more possession, the more control we have of the ball and the game, the less opportunities our opposition has at our defence. It's not just about the quality of our defenders. We need to protect them more by having more control of the game and not allowing them opportunities at our defence to get shots on goal when they're really silly mistakes. And to constantly blame our defenders for this is not fair, and question their quality, because I don't believe we should spend another penny for another defender until we improve our style of play and we learn to control the games, we learn to keep control of the ball. And it doesn't matter who we buy. If we leave our defence exposed, this is what's going to happen. And this is why we have McFred. We have Scott and Fred in front of our defence trying to protect them, because we don't control the ball and they need support. But if we change our style of play to a more attractive one, possession based, you know, we would feel more secure. We wouldn't panic. You know, we wouldn't have the result we had against Everton. All of those 3 goals are exemplary of this issue, because we don't control the game, we don't control the ball, we give them excuses, we give the opposition opportunities at our defence, and the stats prove it. We're allowing 3 times as many goals from open play as City, and we're allowing twice as many shots on goal as City. And the sooner, and this summer, you know, whatever happens, if Ollie wins a trophy, if we close in the title race and and the board stick with Ollie, I think they really need to talk to him, look at the coaching staff and the style of play and the way, you know, really look at the footballing aspects, because I don't think if they should spend another penny and they get clarity from him regarding what is our identity, what is the type of football we're playing, and is it the right way? Because maybe it's not our defenders. Maybe we don't need to keep spending 50 to 100 million on defenders. Maybe we need to change the way we play our game, and so we protect them more, we protect them better, and we have more control of games. And that would be my that's the first thing I would like to see, and then at least we can go into games more confident than we have been in the last few years, and none of this, you know, roller coaster stuff that everybody's putting down to you know, as fun or, you know, concerning. You know, the inconsistencies. If we resolve this issue, we can resolve that, and then we can really progress as a team.